For 5 minutes. Ms. Velasquez.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Austin, do you recognize that almost 8 years after the hurricanes, Puerto Rico's grid remains fragile with chronic outages driven by a weak infrastructure and vegetation problems?
Well, I'd also add that there were the earthquakes in 2022. So the earthquakes affected the power generation plants on the southwest coast. And I think with the hurricanes, when I've talked to my colleagues who are experts in the technical matters, my impression is that the reconstruction of the grid after the hurricanes was more of a patching up rather than a full reconstruction. And so I think that the system is still very delicate, and I think that there are just inherent difficulties because the south side is more protected, and that's where the power generation is. The power demand is more on the north side.
Thank you. Would you agree that bondholders led by GoldenTree are counting on repayment from a system that is barely functional? Yes or no?
I think it's not functioning very well. It's expensive. There are lots of blackouts. There's deep unhappiness about PREPA.
Thank you. Let me show you what that actually looks like. This is the system and the customers they want to exploit. You see, this is the business model of vulture funds. Once again, they took advantage of a distressed government to buy cheap debt, and now they demand the maximum payment. This isn't longer the story of PREPA's bankruptcy. It is the story of GoldenTree versus the people of Puerto Rico. Thank you, Dr. Austin. Mr. Mojica, GoldenTree owns $1.3 billion in PREPA bonds. To recover their investment, how much do they think PREPA should pay all bondholders?
What they have told the regulator, who is currently reviewing the rates in Puerto Rico, is that they would like the rates to be set high enough to be able to pay $12 billion, which includes $8.5 billion plus pre- and post-petition interest.
And they say they can get it from PREPA's net revenues, but they are zero, correct?
We believe there are zero revenues once you maintain the system. So what they're actually advocating is for rates to go up in order to pay back the debt.
So that means that the only way to create revenue and pay bondholders would be to raise energy rates for over 50 years. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, then bondholders led by GoldenTree expect the people of Puerto Rico to pay higher electricity bills for decades, just so they can keep profiting.
The estimates are that they would have to raise the rates in order to pay them. Over 50 years, you would have to increase rates by approximately 8 cents.
Thank you. And let me remind this committee that this is not the first time that GoldenTree imposes its predatory practices to hurt Puerto Ricans. Today, residents pay the highest sales tax when compared to the 50 states because of COFINA's restructuring plan, from which GoldenTree made $437 million in profit. Their claims against PREPA will make life even more dire in a jurisdiction where over 40% of the people live in poverty. Mr. Mojica, can you confirm the operational expenses of PREPA cover things like fuel purchases, energy contracts, and salaries?
Yeah. All of those things are in the total amount that is in the rates.
Okay. So can you also confirm that recovery funding generally covers permanent rebuilding and modernization of the grid and its generation facilities?
Within the rates, you would also have to cover both repairs, maintenance, operations of the system, as well as fuel cost, and as well as the other capital investments.
So then, why do you think Mr. Fitzgerald is implying in his letter to the board that over $15 billion in general funding will help free up PREPA's money to pay bondholders?
Yeah. I think the letter talks about $15 billion in federal funds that are available and that have not been spent yet. Those need to get invested in the grid, but our estimates are, based on what the operators tell us, is that the grid will need significantly more than the $15 billion that is left in federal funds in order to fix the system.
Well,
Gentlewoman's time has expired. Thank you very much.
I yield back. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.